Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to Wednesdays with Wallace, Psychic Medium. Woohoo! We're here. Pull her chair in, get herself comfy. Still haven't moved the table. Oh, Lordy. I have been so busy. I've been flat out. I've been doing wonderful readings. If you can read some of the comments from people, I'm sure some people leave in comments. And it's been wonderful. Wonderful things happening for people, wonderful things coming. Oh, very exciting things in our lives. How come? How come there's exciting things in some of our lives, and in some of our lives, other people's lives, get the cards out, in other people's lives, it's not so, bloody great. Why is that? Focus. It's all about what we focus upon. And I, like you, a few weeks ago, oh God, I've just gotten to a point where I thought, it was doing my head in. It was absolutely doing my head in, and my heart and everything else connected to the body was feeling it. It was awful. I was in an awful space. And I suspect so were a lot of you in a bloody awful space as well. How did I change it? Well, what I did was I started focusing on my own, shuffling the cards, and I'll tell you what the topic is in a minute. I started focusing on my own life, big time. I mean, really focusing on my own life, big time. How do I want to live? What does it look like? How does it feel? That sort of thing. And I really wanted to get into how did it feel? How did my life feel? Because, fear, darlings, fear is a very, very dense, low energy. And we're all of us humans are living in a fairly dense energy. We live in a dense energy, which is why we struggle, to communicate with those who pass on that we'd love to communicate with, and we'd like to know they're okay, and we'd sort of like some confirmation around that there's more to life than, than more to life than them being ill, and more to life. There's just more to life. I believe there's more. The song, so that is a very, very high vibrational energy where those people are. Of course it is. They've moved on to home where their spirit is. That's not this place. This is the hard part. This is the hard yards, because this is where we come to learn and grow and experience and put runs on the board, I'm going to call it. This is where we come to do that, darlings. And, it can be hard yakka. But as I keep saying to people, focus on your own life. Focus on what it is you want in your life. Focus on how you feel about that. Focus on the sorts of things and that doesn't mean you're oblivious to everything else that's going on. I'm not oblivious to it. I still see things, I still hear things, I still know things, but the knowingness and the things I'm really listening to are from, the other entities, the people who can share with me a bit more, who can share with me more about why all this is going on and what the answer to it is. So today I've decided, I came out a bit bullish today. I came out with a bit of, the old bull. I am a Taurus. I was born on the 1st of May. I came out today with all engines revving today, firing on all six. And so the title, I had no idea what it was all going to be, what they were going to give me, what's happening. I'm looking at all sorts of cards in front of me. I'm going to mix in. I've been doing that all week. It's been fabulous outcome. So the title of today's video is Enough is Enough. Kick the interlopers to the curb. That's a bit strong, isn't it? Eh? It's a bit bloody full on, isn't it? Well, you know what? It's time. It needs to be. But before I get into that, before I do the reading around it, before I ask some questions of the other side, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. We'd love to grow the channel. We really would. I would. I'd love to grow it. Spirit would love to see me grow it. I get all those sorts of messages. That's why I keep going. And but to do that, we need to have more of you subscribe. It's great. I welcome you. I welcome everybody from all over the world. And you know I love you all. And I do this, and I can't wait. I cannot wait on a Saturday when the video comes out to see how many people view and what the whole deal is. And I love it. I love it. I just and all your comments, I go through every comment, every comment. I read everything. Even from the people who, occasionally come on. I don't know whether they're bots or they're real people, who knows? Maybe I'm talking to bots. But the real people, if the real people come on and there's some, negative stuff and everything, I know it's not about me. I know it's about their lives, and I know it's about their frustration, and I know it's about the whole thing about I'm not enough and I'm a bit lost. And, this is a channel. This is it. I love being here. Sometimes I think, well, it's probably better if you move to somewhere else where you can vent all that, because, it's fallen on deaf ears. I'm not really interested. But having said that, I love you. I do love you. And I care about you. And I care about the fact that, you might be short on, a bit of love in your life too. Perhaps my energies, hopefully might impart some of that and give you some of that. Okay, buy me a coffee link. Thank you to those who have bought me a coffee. I so appreciate it. I appreciate you all. Special shout out to Christy, Mandy, and, Martin. Thank you, Martin. Thank you for all your wonderful comments. Thank you for being there for me every week. Thank you to so many others, to so many of you. And I love you, and I'd love to have time lately to do readings, but I have taken, on board the bit of, it's been a bit dragged out and a bit long, and so I try to get to the reading a little bit more quickly than what I had been doing when I digressed all the time. And I do digress. It's just who I am, darling. So I just digress, I get bloody caught up and away I go off on some tangent. Oh well, it just is. Okay, all right, if I get time, no, I won't have time today. I just won't. I know I won't. I'm saying something I won't have time for. But hopefully maybe next week. And maybe on Wednesdays, morning cuppa, I might be able to go back to pulling out, reading for people. That'd be nice. I could do that on a Wednesday. Make a little mental note of that for myself. But today, and I'm shuffling the Rider-Waite cards, I'm going to have some more new cards soon. My friend Christy from Minnesota in the US has assisted me with that, to purchase some cards from the US that was going to cost a small fortune to have delivered to Australia. So thank you, Chrissy, for helping me out there. You're a darling. And you are a darling anyway. But thank you for helping me out with that. So I'm looking forward to getting those cards. But in the meantime, I'm using Rider-Waite, and I'm going to use Denise Lynn's cards. I've been using those. This is the Sacred Forest cards. sacred forest. I'm going to use those today as well. And I have been using, so I bought this a while ago, time traveller cards. I'm going to use those as well in the reading today. I'm going to do the cards and I'm going to lay some of those over top of the Rider-Waite pack that I'm using because I've been led to that. Spirit has said, do this. Okay, let me just now, this whole thing in the US that's going on around the tornadoes and everything else, and him wanting to disband, the organisation that hands out, takes care of all those things, alerts people, takes care of them, makes sure that all the emergency aid is given and all those sort of things, and that isn't happening right now. Ooh, it's very sad, isn't it? I mean, isn't that a bummer? Isn't that a horrible, horrible, spiteful? He's a spiteful son of a bitch. Pardon the language. You forgive me if I'm a bit. You forgive me when I, am a bit rude. I'm an uncouth Australian. Call me that. Call me what you will. But he's lucky I only call him that. Okay. I did want to, what came one morning when I woke up, or as I was coming out of my sleep, I see where they've closed down the one of the Tesla, well, they've probably closed down a number of them, but they've closed down, I think it was on the news this morning, they've closed down one of the big Tesla. Was it in New York or somewhere? Somewhere there they've closed the Tesla outlet sales, and I think there'll be more. Let's have a look at that, because what's happening with Musk? What's going on with Musk? What's going on with the companies? Ooh, yes, okay. Ooh, energetically. Okay, what's going on with Musk? What's going on with all of that? And my heart goes out to those people caught in the tornadoes and caught up in any of those areas where they're just not getting the help, and, they're so desperately in need of it from people who just simply bloody don't care. So I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Enough is enough. Kick these interlopers to the curb. How are you going to do that? You're going to do it by all banding together, and it's happening across Europe. It's happening everywhere. Standing up, coming out, and rebelling against it. Ooh, time for it. Time. Let's have a look at Musk. What's happening with Musk? What's going on with Musk? What's okay, all right. Now, what cards came out? The first cards that came out were the Two of Swords. I better put them in a bit closer so you can see. The Two of Swords, the Queen of Wands, okay, Four of Wands, and the Death card. Wouldn't have surprised me if we had seen the Tower card. And one never knows, that may well come out over top of it. Okay, well. Oh, dear. Well, there's a few frights in there for him, isn't there? I mean, he didn't expect all of this. He thought it was all going to be celebration, and he was going to fleece all the money from everybody, the Musk racketeer. He was going to get in there. He was going to get his share. He was going to fill his own coffers, fill his pockets up, and he was going to, go to the bank laughing. That's my little girls, and they're barking. And I'll stop it. I'll just close this door a bit so I can get a bit of peace, hopefully. Back to the chair again. Oh, little buggers. So he thought he was going to fill all the coffers. He was going to, line his own pockets, him and the rest of the oligarchs. We're all going to line their own pockets. They'd all got together, Theo and all the rest of them. They had it all worked out. They had, the other, lunatic lined up. Trump, well, they can all manipulate him. They only have to tell him how bloody good he is and how wonderful he is and how much they love him. And he soaks all that up. He's lost to the gremlins will get him. Okay, but Musk thought it was all going to be a big celebration. He thought that he was going to, have it all, and that things were going to be, honky dory for him. Lots more opportunities. There were going to be, everything was going to flow. He had it all worked out. Well, in his own mind, he's probably a bloody rock star in his own bedroom. Or he thinks he is anyway, but none of that's working out. He's now feeling the pinch, feeling the punch, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be. This is the death card, and this is not about him dying. This is not about him kicking over or kicking the bucket. This is not about him doing any of that. This card here is about his personal, how can I put it? His personal, it's a personal journey. It's the death. It's his own personal journey and the death of those things that he knows or thinks he knows. That life that he's been living, the pretenses, the whole, that whole thing. It's the end of it. It's the end of it. Yes, it is. It is the end of it. Queen of Cups, Knight of Wands, and what do we got here? Oh, okay. Five of Swords. Okay, so swords. This is more closing down, more of his places. It's like this. When it all came to me, when the whole thing came to me about Musk, I saw the domino effect. I could see these dominoes all falling. And that was before, this morning when, this news thing about, his places closing down. Well, I knew that there was a lot of stuff going on around, the whole Tesla thing and the motor cars and the rebranding and rebadging and all the stuff that had gone on. I knew that was all, going on. So it's going to let me in peace today. They're being little villains, especially the little one. That's her barking, being very, very naughty. She's been on a barking spree lately. Everything makes her nervous and upsets her. Oh, it's like the terrible twos. It's coming up to its first birthday. Okay, Queen of Cups, Knight of Wands, and this here. Now, before the news, I saw this domino effect. I saw the whole thing with Musk and the motor cars and that whole Tesla. I saw that going belly up. I saw that all, falling apart. I mean, it's falling apart in front of his eyes, isn't it? I mean, not a happy camper at the moment. He couldn't be. I mean, if that was me, I wouldn't be a happy camper either. Having said that, of course, we all know he's brought it upon himself. Nobody else has done it to him. He did it to him. But the thing is, darlings, these blokes, no retribution. No, they joined a bloke who has gotten away with everything. He's not been brought to justice about anything. He even got himself elected as president, so, they couldn't take him to court and they couldn't do all the things. I mean, he incited, an insurrection in the United States. I mean, he's a traitor, really, isn't he? And, he wasn't brought to justice over it. He got himself elected as president so he'd get out of it because, over here, this corrupt Supreme Court, who couldn't lie straight in bed, you know, you know, they aid and abetted him, didn't they? And so, what have you got? I mean, what if you're going to join in with somebody? I mean, you know, they think he's bulletproof. So what are they doing? They're all standing behind him, and oh, that's pretty scary, isn't it? Standing behind him, he hasn't even bloody got the legs to stand on at this point in time. Pardon the pun, but you know, they all thought that, you know, if they stood behind him, they'd you know, they'd get away with it all as well. But we're not living in those times, darlings. We're done with all that. Transparency, authenticity, honesty, values. What are we all waking up to? What are we all, where are we all with all this? Where are we? What are we doing? What are we saying? And we're doing it in our own lives. Who do we want around us in our own lives? I mean, think about us on a micro scale. What do we want? We want honest people around us. We want transparency. We don't want the BS. We want, you know, we want people with values. And that doesn't mean we're not human. It doesn't mean we don't fall down and get up. It doesn't mean that at all. You know, I fall down, I get up. I fall down, I get up. I mean, that's life. That's what we came here for. We came here to learn lessons. You can't learn lessons without falling down and getting up. I mean, that's just the way it goes. A little kid learns to walk by going around the couch and then, you know, falling A over T. You know, it's just, you get up, you get up. I walk, I fall down, I get up. But these blokes don't have that concept. They don't understand that. They don't understand you know, the having to be responsible. You know, the having to be, you can't just go out and try and murder the world and everybody's going to stand still. It's like, I remember saying one time on one of my videos, and I think it was on one of these, I said this, that, you know, when you throw the first punch, don't assume that the person on the other end, even if you hit them and they fall down, don't assume they're going to get up and stand there and let you do it again. They're not. And that's what's happening in the world right now. What's happening in the world right now is what? They're going their own way. They're not prepared. Canada's not prepared to put up with his BS. The rest of the world isn't prepared to put up with his BS. This is not 2016. It's 2025. We're 9 years on from it. Has 9 years made a difference in our lives? You betcha. Tesla's coming unstuck. I suspect, I feel, I saw it. I saw the big buildings. I saw you know, it's a bit like the tower. Mm, yeah, yeah. Okay. Wands, swords, the thinking, the crown. You know, and the ten of no, sorry, the the nine of cups. It's very emotional for him. He's very, very emotional. Now, where's he running to? I get this feeling. I get this feeling. He's is he looking to do a bunk? Where's he running to? He's not he's not he's not entirely silly. Um, he has got some people around him who have got some brains and are, you know, giving him some heads up on stuff. If it becomes too hot, I think, you know, he'll disappear. Um, and somebody said in one of the videos, I'm just going to have another little look at this. Somebody said in one of the videos about him, somebody said, oh, you know, about the money and Trump and everything else. It's not the money, love. It's not the money. It's not the money. He's got more on Trump than the money. Oh, dear, dear, dear. What an incestuous, what a cesspool. What a cesspool. So Muskie's come undone. His other companies are coming undone as well. It won't be just Tesla, it's a domino. And here's the question I'm asking: for a person who cannot get the US government doesn't trust him enough to give him a full security clearance, and yet they're tied to, or they think they are, or they are contractually, I suppose, tied to, Musk's SpaceX company, and all of the, American security and all the high security stuff, that the high security clearance stuff that they're doing with SpaceX. Who's handling all that? And yet the head of it, pardon me, the head of it, the whole thing, they won't give a full clearance to, because what are they saying about him? And internationally, what are they saying about him? He can't be trusted. Oh, sorry, darlings, I have to laugh. But you hand over all your security. It's like saying to the thief, no, come in, it's all right. You know the person's a thief and there's safes in your house. Come in and you show them where the safe is and all the jewels. Oh, no, 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 no. No, enough's enough. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. No, people power. That's where we're at. We're at people power. Okay, I want to just do a little reading on that. I want to know, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know, tell me, tell me, tell me, I want to know if the groundswell is going to compound. Are we going to see it subside, or are we going to see it compounding? Is the groundswell of people power, enough is enough, people power? Are we going to see more people coming out, more people standing up? Because that's the only thing that's going to change it all. People power. Okay, are we going to see that? I want to do some of these other cards too. Get a move on, Wallace. Okay, so people power. Are we going to see? I want to know if we're going to see more. Oh, okay, that came out. Hermit card. Okay, okay. Let me just go over the top of that. Oh, yep. Okay. All right. Devil card, King of Wands. All the thinking. The Hermit and the Four Cups. Notice there's only one cup left there. The rest are sitting there. Okay. Disappointment, disillusionment. I should be writing these words down. Disappointment, disillusionment. A lot of people feeling that, they don't, what the hell can they do? What can I do? I'm just one person. Well, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. You can join in with a whole lot of other people. Then you're not just one. You're a community of people, aren't you? Town halls, more marching, more of everything. We're going to see more of that. We are going to see more of that. We're going to see. I wouldn't have been surprised to see the Tower card. I've been expecting that to come out. The pulling down of old structures, the Hermit. This is transparency. People are going to be demanding transparency. It is an emotional time. There's not much left in the tank for a lot of people. They're feeling fairly spent. But I still believe, not think, feel, that's not one of my little things it's saying, but it's not thinking, it's feeling. I still feel, even though it's a bit, depleted, and there's, you know, There's a driver at this too. There's a driver. I'm going to pull him out. The driver here, King of Wands. This is the driver. This is Bernie Sanders. He's driving this along, and he's driving it big time. He's creating a real groundswell because yeah, he's got lots of courage. That man, lots of guts and gumption, hasn't he? Good for him. I want to see what else. Let me get these out. Power, magic. Yes, yes. Okay, good one. Okay, all right. Power, magic, retreat. Love it, love it, love it. Why do I love it? I love it because power to the people, people power. Didn't I just say that? I love it. There is people power, and people have it, and they might be feeling a bit drained and tired and a bit exhausted with it all. Well, it is bloody exhausting. So they're feeling a bit exhausted with it all, but I do feel that it's a bit like there's still something in the tank, and they'll band together to support all those people, because it could be them, couldn't it? It could be you, couldn't it? I mean, you could be hit with a natural disaster and, get no help or get nothing, or, everything that was in place to help you has been dismantled. You can't let it happen. You just cannot let it happen. So there is magic in it. There's magic in people banding together. There's magical things happen when people decide that enough is enough. I remember many, many years ago, I might have even said this on a previous video, but many, many years ago in Australia when I was younger, and a lot younger, we had a prime minister and everybody had their fill of him, and they were disenchanted with the whole thing. And in Australia, of course, we have the ability to just, kick them to the curb. And so we did. They blocked the supply bill in the Senate, and because we have a whole different structure in Australia than what you do in America, but they blocked the supply bill in the Senate, and of course that went through to the higher person here in Australia, and the Attorney General, I think it is. You lose track of all these people, but not that we've got a huge amount of them, but went through to the highest person here who represents the Crown in Australia, and they called a double dissolution of government, and he was gone. Just like that. Boom. Okay. Retreat. Nice to retreat to a safe haven. Nice to retreat to a safe place. Nice to retreat from it all and pretend it's not all happening. But you won't be able to do that. You can't do that. You've got to band together. You've got to come out. You've got to have your say. You've got to come out. You've got to not get off those congressmen. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. You can't get off their back. You've got to stay on their back like a fly to fly paper, like a fly sticks on fly paper. You've got to sit on their back, and you've got to, keep at them. And you've got to get town halls going and get out there and more. Get this bloke out of there. Have him impeached. Get rid of it. And don't think when you get rid of him, you're going to get Vance, because I'm telling you, when it all comes out, none of them will be free of it all. Okay, let's have a little look here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull these out. Purification, protection, and trust have come out as the beautiful cards. Now, I'm going to read these as, of course, it's all about trust. You can't trust anything they do. You can't trust anything that they say. You can't trust a word of what's going on. What can you trust? You can trust one another and your own feelings and what you know is right. Purification. Well, we know that this is a time. This is a time to. This is a time. You've got to protect. You've got to protect what you have. And in the protecting of what you have, darlings, in the protecting of all this, and this is the world over, in the protecting of what we value, which we've taken for granted, all of us, freedom, freedom to live, living in a democracy, having the freedom to do the things that we choose to do, go and get on an aeroplane, go for a holiday, do this, do that, you know, an expectation that we'll go into supermarkets and it'll be fair prices, fuel pumps, being able to go and put fuel in your car and anticipate that it's all fair and square, that, you know, everything's fair, it's a fair system. And right now, to protect all that and to have that, we need to have a purification. We need to pretty much, you know, restart the clock. We need to restart things. We need to, we need some purification in all this. We need some cleansing. And yeah, absolutely, we do. Very interesting cards. Wow, wow, okay. See why Spirit sent those along. Okay, now let's recap. Musk is in for a lot bigger ride than what he's in for at the moment. That's a toppling dynasty, so to speak. Dynasty is toppling. His is. And the other bloke, well, he's, I told you for a long time, and it's true, he's on the skids, that bloke. He's not well, and he isn't well. But he's being manipulated. It's not about him, love. Let's not get ourselves all caught up. It's not about him. Wrong cards. It's not all about him. It's about the others. It's about the oligarchs. It's about all these other people. But you see, it's not the same world it was. See, they thought that they were all going to they were going to get a free ride. They were going to ride along on his back. He got away with it, or they could get away with it. Just, no, they're not going to get away with it. And it's all going to, I'm sorry, it's all going to come tumbling. And we're going to watch this, House of Cards as it comes down. But what are we doing? What are we going to do with our lives? What are we looking forward to? What's our fallback position? Because when all this is over, where will we be in our own lives? So what are we making of that now? What are we doing about our own lives now? I wanted to keep this to no more than about 35, 40 minutes. We're done. That's it. That's all I'm going to say this week. I hope you get something out of it. I do hope it helps you, but I do want you to go away and just say to yourself, when all this is over, when it's all said and done, regardless of how it happens or what happens or whatever else, what will you be left with? And not about externally, higher prices or more, can't get eggs, whatever else is going on. And in the world, whatever, wherever you are, what will you be left with? Your life. Your life. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with your life? How do you want to live it? How do you want to feel? How do you feel about your life? They're the big questions. This other stuff is just stuff, darlings. And we do readings on it, and I do see it all. But I do want to leave with this. Your life is the most single precious thing that you have. Nothing else. Nothing else. Your life. Your life is the single most precious thing that you have, that you're holding in your hands. And I want you to ask the question, what are you doing with it? What do you want to do with it? What will you do with it when all this is over? And now, I want you to focus on your own life now. Yes, by all means, I want you to, be involved to the extent that, you're not going to accept this. You can't accept it. That's it. It's not acceptable. But I want you to also live your own life and make great plans for it. Make great plans for it, because great things are coming. Big things are coming. The planet is changing. The universe is changing. We're awakening to something greater than all this. And I want you to know that. We'll talk about it at some time, I suspect. But I want you to go away. Love in my heart for you. I want you to have love in your heart for you. I want you to I want you to be joyful and blissfully happy. I want you to have an amazing life. And you can do that. You can do that. Oh, I know, it's just like I'm sitting there. You can do it. Now, if you would like, a bit of shameless self-promotion before I go, if you would like a reading, book a reading. I don't have any time now for the rest of the month, and I think I'm starting to get some bookings for early next month. Go in and book yourself a reading with me for half an hour. I've been doing some fabulous readings, and people are giving me, great testimonials. Look on the things, read the things, because, there are people there who've had readings and are saying things. Don't take my word for it. Listen to them. Don't take my word for it. Listen to what other people say. And if you want a reading, please book a reading with me. I love to help you. And by helping you, I help others, don't I? And I leave here. I go with you, and you go with me. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week on Wednesdays with Wallace, Psychic Medium. In the meantime, in between, love, love. Put your arms around yourself and give yourself a hug from me, will you? Bye for now.